What's going on, guys? Got this Stevens Model 67E here today. It's an older shotgun. A friend of mine's here. We wanted to do some something to it, a little spruce it up. Didn't want to do anything permanent. We were going to refinish the whole thing. You can see there's some pitting, there's rust, the wood is chipping away. But since it has sentimental value, we're going to do something that's not so permanent. And so I got this gun skins camo here, which you guys have seen on my channel. I've done a couple of guns before. This is in the Real Tree Edge. We're just going to go ahead and lay this on here and wrap it in the vinyl and see how it turns out. I figured I'd document it, not do much talking about it, just to give you guys a little follow along with it. So stick around, let's get started. So as you can see, I've already got it disassembled, and the main step in here is to completely degrease this entire thing. And so I've used a brake cleaner on it and scrubbed it with a toothbrush. You can see it's actually pretty dried out right now. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So if you're not familiar with this Gun Skins company, what they do is they lay out these vinyl wraps, and they're pre-cut to assist the best way they can with helping you to get started on here. You can see there's some extra materials on here. Some of this I'll use for the forend, possibly the receiver if I need it. I might actually have some extra. You can see they have the barrel cut out right there, and then you can actually see they have the stock pre-cut right there, as you can see. So that should make it a lot easier to kind of lay this on here without having to do much trimming on it. I got a heat gun ready, and we're just going to go ahead and lay it all on here and just kind of document it. So let's get started. All right, so what I'm going to get started with here first is the stock pattern. And so I'm just going to cut this out to make it easier to work with. And again, as you can see, it is pre-cut for a stock, and it fits on there with plenty of extra space to wrap around this whole thing. And so I'm going to try to keep my elbows out of the way here as much as possible, but here we go. All right, I got the first part laid on here, and as you can see, there are some areas that are going to need to be heat treated to allow it to stretch and expand and curve into place so that you won't have so many wrinkles and everything. But I've gotten the most part of all the straight edges that I can put on here without any creases, and you can see that's going to turn out really nice whenever this whole thing is done. So right now what we're going to go ahead and do is apply some heat to allow this vinyl to stretch and fold into place as it's needed. You can tell right there, it doesn't take much heat to get this thing to allow it to stretch. And you can see it's folding right onto place where it needs to be. And that's going to give you a rough idea of what this thing is going to look like. Right now I'm just massaging out these little wrinkles in here. I'm probably going to heat it up again and allow it to stretch on there even more. So right there I'm just working as slow as I can. We're going to speed this video up here in just a little bit. But again, just take your time with it. Pull out those wrinkles as it heats up, and you won't really have many to work with. Alright, so here is the stock all finished. You can see I got everything all tucked up into there where the buttstock's going to hold those wrinkled areas on. There are almost no wrinkles at all on here, except for I had a little bit of trouble with this area right here, and if you look closely, you almost can't see them. There's so much going on with this camo pattern as it is. It's very minimal. Right there is where I had a little bit of trouble with, but I don't think anyone will ever notice, especially with how much, again, how this pattern has so much going on with it. But I got the cut right here, and everything is all laid on there nicely. Let's go ahead and move on with some more parts. Alright guys, there it is. As you can see, this turned out relatively well. There's a few areas that I had a few wrinkles on right there, but you really almost can't tell whatsoever. There's a couple areas that I didn't catch on camera that I changed up that you can see on the pump there. I just simply trimmed off where it was kind of hard to get it to lay flat on the most extreme curve of the pump, which is right at the tip and at the butt of the pump handle itself there. So I just trimmed that off, and as you can see, that turned out pretty well. I like the little metal accent that's on there. So overall, not too hard to do. Again, take your time with it. Plenty of heat, and your prep work as far as removing all the grease makes a big difference in the end. So as you can see, this is easily done. And again, this is by Gun Skins. They didn't send me this one over or anything like that. I just kind of bought it for the project, and we'll see how well the owner of this shotgun likes it. Thanks for following along, guys. We'll catch you next time.